Happy Friday to you and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Shelley Whitehead. It's a joy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Charter Channel 8, where you can see 6 days a week. But we want to thank our sponsors. These are people who stepped up and said, hey, we like what you're doing. We want to keep it going, so we want to thank them. We're going to start off with our premier supporters. They are the City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, Owatonna Public Utilities, Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County, and United Way of Steele County. Thank you to them, and thank you to our primary supporters. There are Amy Swain Hearing Centers and Little Theater of Owatonna. And we wouldn't be here if we didn't have our interlude supporters having our back and making sure we could bring you the information you need. They are Abraham Consulting Technologies, Bremer Bank, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Glenn Meager and Tim Thomas of Brick Meager Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Brookdale Senior Living, Clare Bridge and Sterling House, Carlson and Branstad and Companies and CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate Center. Real Estate, I don't know why I said center, but there you go. Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care Professionals, Clanter and Son Landscaping and Concrete, Napa Auto Service, Owatonna Business Incubator, Owatonna Foundation, Profinium Financial, R&K Electric, Snap Fitness, Steele County Historical Society, Steele County Transitional Housing, the Third Hand Incorporated Video Productions, and TPS Insurance. We want to thank them so much, and we'd like you to thank them too. At least go in and say, hey, we saw you on the Owatonna Today Show, so they know that their dollars are being put to good use. But you can also help them by giving them your business, because keeping local business going is what we're all about. So make sure you do thank them. If you are interested in becoming a part of this great adventure we call the Owatonna Today Show, feel free to give us a call at 390-5751, and Leanne Alt will give you all the details you need. Stick with us today. We're going to be talking to Brad Rademacher and Straight River Cleanups coming up. You want to be a part of that. Also talking to Pete Connor about his bike safety course. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
I'm Dan Branstad of Carlson Branstad and Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings, I'm Laura Ressler, Director of the Steele County Historical Society, and I welcome you to our History Center. We invite you to join in all our activities events where we honor the past and look towards the future.
Hi, I'm Stan Groff, Director of Steele County Public Health and a member of the United Way Community Leadership Team. United Way focuses on the building blocks of life: education, income, and health. Our programs and initiatives prepare children from birth for academic success, well-paying jobs, and a healthy lifestyle. That's why I joined Mayo Clinic Health System and the Owatonna School District to lead this year's campaign. We invite you to invest in our community by giving to the United Way.
And welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show. In studio, I have with me Brad Rademacher. Hey, Brad.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, we're so glad to have you because you really do bring a vital service to Owatonna because we're so proud of our lakes and rivers, and you really help us with that. But first of all, let's start with an introduction.
My name is Brad Rademacher, and I am the Water Quality Specialist for the city. Some of my primary responsibilities include managing our stormwater. And I'm also in charge of managing our MS4, which is a permit that we hold with the MPCA.
Okay, so making sure that the water is clean, meeting the levels that it needs to, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long have you been working in water quality?
Well, I started my endeavor in water quality, I guess you could say, when I started working for the city of St. Cloud, and I interned with them. I went to school for environmental and technological study, so that's kind of where I got into it. And I've been here since January. We're
so glad you're here because you're going to start now. You're going to have a great opportunity to really get to know the community.
Yeah.
And you did a little bit that when you were at the fair, you were saying, but
Absolutely.
It's Straight River Cleanup Days. First of all, tell me about the history, what you know about what this whole thing is about.
Yep, of course, this is my first year participating in the watershed-wide cleanup, but it's sponsored by the Cannon River Watershed Partnership.
Okay.
And this is the 6th annual cleanup. And it takes place in actually 9 different locations watershed-wide.
Okay.
And in the past, we've had 1,100 volunteers and they've literally cleaned up over 100,000 pounds of trash from our waterways. So fairly impressive.
Yeah, and so this is one day that you do all of those watersheds, or do you spread it out over several days?
It actually, the majority of them happen on that same day,
Okay.
September 20th, and there's just one location that participates on a different day.
Oh, okay. And so
So-
if you can't do it on the 20th, there is an opportunity possibly to help out with another watershed area.
Yep. And if you're not, going to be in the Owatonna area at this time, or maybe you're a viewer that's not from Owatonna, you can certainly hop on the website and check out where the other locations are.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious, watershed. Let's define that first and kind of understand what that means.
So a watershed, basically, there's due to elevations, there's going to be a divide, and a watershed is literally one point of discharge that every drop of water is going to reach that one point, and it's usually a discharge point. It's usually a large river.
Okay.
So for instance, the Cannon River watershed starts with the Cannon River up at Shields Lake and kind of works its way west, and then works its way back east and then back up, and it joins with the Straight River. So that's how Owatonna is a part of it, due to the Straight River, and that actually flows north.
Okay. And so by helping cleaning up the watershed, we're actually helping those who are downriver from us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're kind of a vital location here in Owatonna because of the Straight River. And then removing some of those pollutants, mainly tires, chunks of metal, and all that stuff that just keeps on surfacing from years of pollution, it's super helpful.
Well, because when this started about 5 years ago, when they actually did the first cleanup, I'm sure they found a lot of pollutants in the water, but we're still finding those. And some of it is fresh pollutants, but is it some of it that's been like through erosion, things that are coming up from the bottom, that kind of thing?
Yep, exactly. A lot of it is stuff that's been buried long time ago and is now working its way up through the soil and pushing its way out into our water. So, but yeah, of course we do find bags of trash that have been illegally dumped or whatever. That there's a lot of that too. So.
Okay. So this is an event that people are going to be able to be part of, and it kind of sounds like an adventure in a way, because you said something about canoes.
Yep, absolutely. Don't be afraid to bring your canoe along.
Okay.
And there'll be certain spots that we launched, in particular down by Morehouse Park. And of course, there you're going to want to think about safety. We want people to be safe, wear gloves.
Yeah.
Any protective equipment that they can when they're in the canoes. But that's been, in the past, I've heard that's been the primary vehicle to remove some of these things out of the Straight River.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Is it a kind of a family event as well? Can kids come and be a part of this, or is it more aimed towards adults?
Yes, kids are definitely welcomed. It's awesome to get families out there, and if you have an organization that has several people that want to join, that's a great way to volunteer and be take part in your stewardship and give back to the community in that way.
Yeah. Do you know about how many miles or the area that you'll be trying to clean up on that day?
I'm not exactly positive.
Okay.
We have a meeting with the Cannon River Watershed Partnership at the end of the week, and we will be determining exactly what locations we're going to start from.
Okay.
And that's also kind of dependent on the amount of volunteers that we have. So far, we've got 60 people that have signed up. Our goal is around 200.
Okay.
So hop on the Cannon River Watershed Partnership website and sign up electronically. That's the preferred method. Then we can get you in teams and find out where you're going to be starting.
Because I'm sure if somebody showed up that day, you wouldn't say no. But by knowing how many you have, it kind of gives you a better idea of where and when you need to go, what parts you need to start with, like you were saying.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It helps us be a little bit better prepared, and of course we have the free lunch, so it helps us plan for that too. So.
Yeah, so if you want lunch, you better go ahead and make sure you let them know ahead
Yeah,
of time.
yeah.
So what will people need? You talked about people could bring their own canoes. Is there anything else they need to bring, or will you guys provide most of the other things?
Everything is going to be provided:
Okay.
trash bags, gloves, other safety equipment, vests, things like that. And Waste Management is a sponsor, and they collect all of the garbage at the end of the cleanup and haul it away.
Okay, so let's say that there's a family who brings their kids, they don't have a canoe. What will their day look like when they go out and help you guys?
If they didn't have a canoe,
Yeah.
they could expect to be just essentially walking the banks, and if it's children, we're not going to expect them to be getting in the water and removing things.
Yeah.
Hopefully the adults will help with stuff like that, but just walking the shoreline and helping carry trash.
So
from
be
here to there.
prepared. You may have to go a little bit into the water.
Yep, some people will. Yep,
Okay, so bring waders.
bring waders.
Because it's
Yep.
probably going to be a little cold, won't it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as
Yeah,
safe.
the way this trend has been going with the weather,
Yeah.
it might be a little cool by then.
Why do you wait till this time of year to do this kind of watershed? Why not wait do it in the more summertime when it might be a little bit warmer for the water?
I think safety has a big part of that, to be honest. This time of the year, the water level is a little bit safer to be around. In the spring, you never know, things kind of rapidly change.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we've had some fun rain too, so
Yeah.
that always makes it exciting.
Yeah.
What time does the watershed event start?
It starts at 9 o'clock and it runs till noon. And from what I hear from the past, it's usually finished up by around 11 o'clock. And
Okay.
then people go back to get their free lunch around that time.
And
so.
then you meet at Morehouse?
Meet at Morehouse Park.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so will you drive to other locations possibly to kind of start them?
If we need to expand that far, then
Okay.
we'll be driving to other locations. But our hopes is that, and I'm positive there's enough things that can be removed from the Straight River along that stretch. So, hopes are to not have to do too much traveling, but if we get enough volunteers, there's definitely certain areas that we can clean up as well.
Have you done a little bit of checking things out, kind of seeing where you need to hit more than others?
Yep, we've done some preliminary assessments, and then when we meet with the Watershed Partnership, that's when we'll identify the primary spots.
So if people want more information, how can they get a hold of you?
They can reach me at my office telephone number, which is 507-774-7300, or they are able to get on. If they're able to get onto the internet, they can go to our stormwater website, the city stormwater website, and we have links to the Cannon River Watershed Partnership website, and that's the primary means of signing up.
Good. Okay, and the most important question is what's for lunch?
What's for lunch? I actually do not know what's on the menu, but I know it is provided by Thousand Hills Cattle Company.
Okay.
And so I'm sure it's going to be delicious.
Oh,
food.
it sounds like it might be. Good. So again, this is the 20th?
The 20th.
At
yep.
9 a.m., and they can contact you both those ways. So good.
Absolutely.
You excited about this first event?
I am.
Have you ever done an event like this before?
Similar events. But,
Okay, so you kind of know what to expect
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure having you. Make sure you do sign up for the Straight River Cleanup Day and kind of help out the Owatonna area and those neighbors south of us have a little bit better water quality. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Recreational fires are allowed within the Owatonna city limits. They must be contained within a fire pit or a device designed for such use, and can be 3 feet in diameter and no more than 3 feet high. They must be 25 feet from a building or combustibles. Only untreated or unpainted woods must be used. Fires must be attended by a person at all times that are capable of extinguishing the fire. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Have you talked to your teen lately about marijuana? Maybe you should. Regular marijuana use can sap a teen's motivation to learn. Users do not live up to their potential and drop out of positive activities. Marijuana affects memory and learning and stays in your system for weeks. Marijuana also affects judgment and perception. Reaction time while driving is reduced by 41% after smoking 1 joint and 63% after smoking 2, affecting the safety of your teen and others on the road. You need to talk to your teen about the effects of marijuana use. It's not just a harmless high. For more information, please contact the Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County.
Hi, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Tim Thomas of the Brick Mager Funeral Home, and we're proud to serve the Medford and Owatonna areas with cremation and traditional funeral services.
And we're proud to be a part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And we're back with the Owatonna Today Show. I have with me Pete Connor. Hi.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I am well. Would you make a quick favor and introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Pete Connor, resident of Owatonna for 47 years plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done a lot of things. I had a 20-year stint as at a public face for 20 years in a variety of capacities in government. And I've always felt really that a citizen is called to do things, you know, and there are a lot of ways of doing it, you know, and I did mine, you know, in a particular way, but beyond that, we have to do things, I think, for one another that go beyond what government does. Okay, and that's what I'm here to do today, is to talk a little bit about something that I'm interested in, I think is vitally important for our community and for the people who live here, especially those who like to put themselves on a bicycle. Sometimes we just say riding a bicycle, but maybe we'll find out today, this is not so much riding as it is driving a bicycle.
Well, and that's what you've done. What I want to start off with is talking about the fact that you are bringing to Owatonna a bike safety course.
Correct.
And you're not doing this just because you're like, hey, that's cool, I think I'll just do it out of my backyard. You've actually gone and trained for this.
Yes, I have. I went through the Minnesota Bike Alliance. I took a 4-day course of fairly intense study, if you will. You know, a lot of people will say, "Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. You know, I get on the bike, I know how to do that. You know, that's easy." Well, if I had those thoughts to begin with, I kind of kept those tucked away because it was not easy. It was very difficult. And maybe part of it was just because of me and my age and my own capabilities, but nonetheless, the curriculum was such that it was designed to learn cognitively, that is, you know, in a classroom situation. And then we also had that practicum, the practical side. And when we were 3 days in Minneapolis, most of that happened in downtown Minneapolis.
Okay, so you were riding around in downtown.
Riding around downtown.
Which sounds so dangerous.
It was daunting. It was daunting. That's the
like
first thought I had. Oh, man, you know, I'm from Owatonna. You know, don't give me this idea of
you could drive in country roads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'll have to say, the experience was uplifting. The people in Minneapolis, and which I think has come from the development of a culture where the citizens there understand that cycling is an important part of conveyance. You know, people use their bicycles to go from place to place, from work to home, to shop, and whatever. It is their vehicle. There are people who do not own automobiles because they will get, and it's year-round. They have bikes that are capable of riding in snow, on ice, or they have, you know, a garage full of bikes that they can choose from.
Variety.
And I'm getting there. This is my second bike now. I have this one I just picked up not long ago from down at the bike shop, and this is my Townie. You know, it's a little wider tire, and it helps me to be a little bit more comfortable as I'm riding on streets, as opposed to the road bike, which, you know, I use when I'm out.
Well, and our culture here in Owatonna is a little bit more of a pleasure. It's more recreational than it is back and forth.
True.
And yet it is so much more economical. It's so much more better on the environment. But yet we don't have the culture. And so that's what this class is about, isn't it?
Class is about, and as an example, I have curriculum, and I'm not going to obviously go through page by page, but this is called smart cycling, and this is the curriculum going from this page that forward that talks about Traffic Safety 101. I see so many people today in town, families, you know, riding. They don't ride on the right side of the street. You know, now we have mom and dad.
The correct, you mean?
You know, the right side is the right side.
Yes, exactly. We just want to make sure we got that all together.
Side,
I thought all of a sudden I was in England. I don't know what was happening.
And I've done that too, by the way, which is an interesting experience. And I've ridden in New Zealand, which is also an interesting New Zealand
because they use all the whole road.
Oh, yeah. So, and the point is that, you know, I don't see kids with helmets on
because they're not cool, but yet they're so important. We have every car has airbags nowadays. Why wouldn't you want your child in a helmet? Yeah.
So we have a curriculum that's very defined. You know, from the standpoint of, first of all, what kind of a bicycle do you want to ride? You know?
What kind of riding will you be doing?
Exactly. Let's get that taken care of first of all. Then what about this bicycle? What's important about it? And we do a thing called ABC, which is, you know, simply enough to talk about air, brakes, chain, cassette, quick release, and so we do that beforehand.
You're teaching them a little bit about the bike itself, so that if they need to repair it, or if there's an important something gets stuck, pant leg gets stuck, they can actually help themselves.
Exactly. We will figuratively fix a flat in this course.
Okay.
Everybody will take the tube out of their own bicycle tire, and so therefore how do you do that?
Yeah.
And and it's it isn't necessarily the easiest thing either.
No.
I ride with friends who are I call them the pounders. The 20 mile an hour group. I don't ride so much with them anymore. As we start out together, but and there are some of those folks who are good enough they can change a flat in a couple of minutes, and they're on their way again. Well, that's not the normal thing.
Right.
For most of us is that what we want to do is to be able to get home.
Yeah.
That's always why we would learn how to do these things, because we want to get home. Yeah.
What age groups are you looking for to come to this class?
Mostly adults.
Okay.
Or adult age or very close to that. This is not for children.
Okay.
Per se.
Because kids do get their own kind of sort of bike safety, but as a parent, then you can pass that on to your children.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. And this hopefully is one of those things that floods out. Cyclists get a rap, and it's not a bad rap necessarily, for A, not stopping at stop signs, for B, not being in the right lane, for C, riding the wrong way on a street, for D, for whatever. And point well taken, okay? Most of us in our motor vehicles probably do the same kinds of things. We blow stop signs, we don't necessarily turn always from the right lane. We forget about the things that we learned when we were in automobile training, driver training. But the point is that it becomes, I had an experience just the other day where I was making a left-handed turn to come up onto Donnell Drive. I got my arms straight out this way. I'm in the right lane, into the correct lane. And somebody behind me blowing the horn, blows by me, has a hand in the air, which I didn't need to see. I knew what it was doing, and I didn't need to hear it because I knew what he was saying. It was, get off the road, But I have a place there, okay? And I think that's part of it. Is ultimately, I would love to see Owatonna become a complete streets community.
And there's a term you said, bike friendly, a little bit.
Yeah, and a bike friendly community.
What does that mean exactly?
What that means is that we provide, and now we can go back to what government does. When I was in government, the main thing that we tried to do was to provide essential infrastructure. Make sure that our streets, sewer, water, electricity, all of those things, that's primary, okay? Make sure that we have those things. And then we do the other things, i.e. park and rec and police for seniors and as we go on. To be a bike-friendly community is to provide that infrastructure. Where can we put trails that would make it easier for people to go from home to work? What about putting lane markings on our streets, okay, so that are right for cyclists? And that we develop a culture, much as what I found up in Minneapolis when I was taking my training, is that people understand that, and so when they see the hand coming down for a cyclist who is going to stop, or when they see a hand going out for a cyclist who is scanned, he sees that he has a car behind him, motor vehicle behind him, and he gives the indication that he's moving to the left because he wants to make a left-hand turn. They understand that, and they wait.
They know what those
things are. Sure, and they are the signals that, I guess, back in the early time of automobile, that's what we used, was a hand, stop, left turn, right turn. Now with a bicycle, you can go right with the right hand.
So, and I'm guessing that as I look at your bike, it's got all sorts of nice little doodads and doohickeys. Yeah. But you also talk about why some of these are important. So, for example, I see that you do have like a rear view mirror on your bicycle.
Absolutely.
And every bike, why not have one?
Well, sure.
Yeah, because it makes your driving safer.
I don't want to put somebody who's in a motor vehicle behind me in a bad place.
Yeah.
Well, having to make an emergency decision, and maybe, unfortunately, as we well know, there are other things that motor vehicle drivers do while they're driving.
Distracted driving.
And if they don't see where I am, and I can see that something is not happening the way I want it to, then it calls for me to make exactly.
Yeah. So that'll be another thing that I'm guessing you'll have in there is you'll help people make their bike a little bit safer.
Yes.
In that course. So when is the course again?
It's on the 26th and 27th of September. It'll be at Public Health.
Okay.
And that's another part of it too, because it's healthy exercise by cycling, and so it'll be that Friday evening, and then Saturday from 9 until 3.
And how can they register?
If they're online with the Minnesota Bike Alliance, bikemin.org,
Okay.
and they can register on that. It'll be shown there. They can call me at 456-1099, and I'll get them to the right place. And we're looking at maybe 10 to 12 people.
Good. Well, thank you so much for your time.
It's nice to be here.
I'm sure
Thanks
we'll have
for having
more.
me.
I'm sure we'll have more of
good.
these. Good. Thanks so much. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Pete Connor. I'm here to say some things about an upcoming bicycle safety course that's going to be held here in Owatonna. It's called TS 101. It'll be held on the 26th and 27th of September. It's for people who are riders or drivers of bicycles that want to learn more about bike safety, about bike rules, and about bike handling technique. If you have any interest, give me a call. I'm at 456-1099.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
And I'm Adam Martinez, owners of Snap Fitness in Owatonna.
Snap Fitness is a fast, convenient, and affordable fitness center, and we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Everyone deserves opportunities to have a good life, a quality education that leads to a stable job, enough income to support a family through retirement, and good health. But the reality is, many children fall behind, many families are struggling, and many others are in poor health. United Way's goal is to find long-term solutions. Thanks to a grant from the Otto Bremer Foundation, we're hosting community conversations this year to address these issues. If you'd like to join us, please call our office.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty. And I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clarebridge of Owatonna. And we are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
And as we close out this week of Owatonna Today Show, I'm going to give you some community service announcements, including St. Paul Episcopal's Rummage Sale. It's today and tomorrow. You can get a chance to help build the St. Paul's building, or help proceeds go to the St. Paul's Building Fund. So that, again, that's today and tomorrow. Today it's from 8 to 5. Tomorrow it is from 8 till 2. And the public is invited to participate in the upcoming Living Well with Chronic Illness Conditions workshop beginning in September. The workshops are free and take place at the Owatonna Hospital every Friday. So today from 3 to 5, you can find better ways to deal with pain and feel better about life. If you want more information, call 507-977-2171. Join a Riverbend Nature Center naturalist to learn about life of a monarch butterfly. We're starting to see them. You want to learn more, you can do that. It's the World of Monarch Butterfly, which will be held September 16th from 6 to 7. It's a $5 fee unless you are a Riverbend Nature Center member, and that is $3 then. If you want more information, you can contact Caitlin Bockenstead, and that's 507-332-7151. My fingers are sticky today. Habitat for Humanity of Steele County area is seeking volunteers to assist their construction of their 22nd home located in Owatonna. Build days for September are anticipated to be Wednesday through Saturday. The day will start at 8:30 and end at 3. And if you'd like to help them out, you can contact them at 507-446-0112 and see how you can be a part of that Habitat for Humanity home. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Owatonna Today Show. We'll see you next week when we're talking about the Owatonna Arts Center Masquerade Celebration, the AAUW Taste of Steele County, and the OPU update, all coming up next week, so we'll see you then.